Now let's return to an old friend, string. Since the very first module of the first part of this course, you've been working with strings. It's easy to think of them as a fundamental type that's built into the language, even though they're not. Well, maybe they are, because the standard library is standardized by the standards committee that standardizes the language, and every C++ compiler contains the standard library, and therefore you will always have it to count on. And it becomes sort of a language lawyer point whether it's really part of the language or not. Anyway, there it is, and you kind of already know how to work it, and I just want to point out to you that it is a class within the standard library. In fact, there are a pair of them. String and WString represents a wide string, more useful in Unicode situations. And it has operator overloads that you have again been using almost without noticing. Want to add two strings together, concatenate them, use the plus operator or use plus equals, barely even notice. Want to compare two strings, use the equal or less than or whatever. Again, you barely even notice. It's so obvious what they do, and we've used the output operator to send it out to cout so many times. That's really the definition of a great overload in a great class, that anybody can tell what it does, and string certainly fits that. You may not have known that string also has methods, like take any string dot size and it'll return back how many characters are in the string. You can get a substring. You can find a particular character within the string, and you can even iterate through a string exactly the same way that you could iterate through a vector of person objects. You'll see some pretty heroic things sometimes chaining these up, so I'll call one method to find me the first letter I within the string, and then I'll take a substring starting from there. The second parameter of substring, how long, will be based on calling something else that finds another thing and subtracts and blah blah. People do some pretty cool stuff, and there also are more libraries wrapped around strings' basic functionality to do heavy-duty string manipulation. As you know, if you want to use string, you include the string header. And I don't have a lot to demo for you, but I just wanted to quickly show that you can call size and you can call substring. I think you can read this code and guess what it's going to do. Third, remember, their full name was Third Space Fiction. Let's just run to here so you can kind of see where we are, and then down to the end. Right? It's 13 characters long. You can count out for yourself what Third Space Fiction is, and the substring, the first four characters, is THIR. And you can see that we were asking for the first four characters because we said starting at position 0, and we want 4 long. And that is important to remember that, first of all, like everything in C++, we're 0 based, and secondly, that this second parameter isn't until position whatever, it's how many long. If you can think of a kind of string manipulation that you're likely to need to do, string in the standard library has it. It's common and natural. You've been using it all along. Know that it's there, and know that it is in fact part of the standard library.